the balance of all the physiological conditions required for you to stay alive. For instance, you require particular amount of temperature. More than that, it's not good for your physiological condition. Less than that is not good for your physiological condition. You require particular amount of sugar in your bloodstream. You require particular amount of calcium in your bloodstream. You require particular amount of things in your physiology, and that's the balance, and then only we are alive. Otherwise, what happens? Death. So, as I've said, for proper circulation requires parasympathetic tone. Parasympathetic tone, is it there or not? How do I know? With my breath. How to have this breath? By posture. So that means, what I'm trying to say here, that I cannot say that my digestion is good but my circulation is not. Or my circulation is good but my digestion is not. So anytime I'm complaining about my digestion, that means I'm complaining about my circulation as well. So anytime I'm having problem with my digestive process, that means I'm also having problems with my circulatory system. They go together. I can't say that one is better but the other one is not. And so many people complain about their digestive system. That means they're also having some circulatory problems. They're also having some circulatory imbalances. They're under stress actually. On top, there's one more thing for us to know, and that thing is this cortisol, with the help of some other hormones. So here comes adrenaline at the same time when sympathetic activation takes place, and we know it. So this is another powerful hormone which comes from adrenal gland at the time of when HPA axis becomes on. So this adrenaline got few things to do. We went on discussing. It makes my heart rate go up. Not only the heart rate, but at the same time, my breath rate goes up. Blood pressure up. Metabolic rate up. All these things go on the higher side. And that's the job of adrenal gland. And it's needed actually. That means if you really are in an emergency situation, you need the higher amount of heart rate so you can supply quickly the energy all over your body for fight or flight responses. Good that the breath rate is on the higher side because you need to supply a lot of oxygen to match the need of the cells in the moment. Blood pressure is supposed to be higher so blood can quickly take all those things all over. Metabolic rate is higher. That means you are burning your energy resource at ever accelerating rate. It all is needed for sympathetic activation to really deal the real emergencies. But think of those people, they don't have the real emergency. They just sit somewhere on their chair, safe place, nice things, but boiling in. And one of the things chasing them down is their posture. Is not monkey anymore actually. It's not the monkey raising their blood pressure up. It's the way they sit. So if I sit with hunchback, I go for sympathetic activation and I boil in without even knowing. Now, anytime, so just forget about these three things. Just think about the heart rate. Anytime the heart rate goes up, what happens to the cardiac output? So do you know what is cardiac output? Is there someone who can put few words for cardiac output? Cardiac output is the ability of your heart to pump the blood. That means how much blood your heart pumps with one stroke. That's cardiac output. So there is one stroke, like our heart contracts powerfully and then it pumps the blood into the body. So now what do you think? When the heart rate goes up, what happens to the cardiac output? It comes down actually. Because we think like if the heart is beating more, we're going to have more blood. No, we're going to have quick blood, but the cardiac output goes down. So anytime the heart rate goes up, cardiac output comes down. That means it reduces the ability of heart to pump the blood. That means the amount of blood a relaxed heart can pump when the heart rate goes up. output comes down. They are inversely proportional to each other. That means when this goes up, that comes down. And to raise that up, we need to reduce the number of heartbeat in a minute. Now, what is the norms for us to have? Means like, have you heard about how many beats we're supposed to have in 1 minute? So there are different numbers, but in general, what we have heard, it's supposed to be 72 strokes per minute. But if you are a physically active person and you do the exercises on a regular basis, there is a possibility that your number is less than 72. So the people, they're physically active, swimming and doing all those things, their heartbeat may be close to 65 or 60. That means they have healthier heart. That means if the number is less, what happens to cardiac output? It goes up. It goes up. Now, think of one beat, one heartbeat. So if 72 strokes takes 1 minute, how much of a time we use for one beat? Is there someone who can mathematically solve it quickly? Less than 1 second for sure. Less than 1 second for sure. That's good. So 0.8 second. So 0.8 second it takes to complete one heartbeat. Now, if you go and study the physiology of heart, there are 5 delicate stages of one heartbeat. It always is like doop doop, doop doop. It's not like doop, doop, doop. It always is like doop doop. But even in these two subtle sounds, there are 5 stages. But let's talk about only 2 stages. So first is the time when the heart expands and collects the blood. So when it collects the blood, give that 0.3 second. And then when it pushes the blood, give it again 0.3 second. So they say, like in physiology, when the heart works, 0.3 second to collect the blood and 0.3 second to push the blood into the system. Still we have 0.2 second. Still we have 0.2 second, and that 0.2 second is all about rest. And it's supposed to be rhythmic also. It's not like sometimes it's something here and sometimes it's something here. That is all about heart arrhythmia. That means the person is about to have a heart attack actually if the rhythm is missing. Because we talked about relaxation is all about rhythm. I can feel relaxed only if I am rhythmic. Heart can feel relaxed only if it is rhythmic. Now think about your heart and heart muscle, how powerful it is and how appreciative we're supposed to be towards our heart. Now you just do 1 minute this. Just 1 minute. In 60 seconds you're going to have some stress in your wrist. If you do it 5 minutes, it's going to start aching. If you do it 1 hour, it's oh my God, too much. You can't do this 1 hour. It's going to be painful. Now think about your heart. It's beating since we were in the womb of our mother. I think 4th or 8th week of pregnancy, that's the moment of time that the heart starts beating, and then it beats all the life. So good, so powerful. But this 0.2 second is very important for the heart. This 0.2 second is very important for the heart. Now, anytime the heart rate goes up, that means what? 72 is not anymore 72. It goes towards 80, 90. It goes towards 80 and 90. When it goes towards 80 and 90, what happens to this number? Is reduced. When it's reduced, what happens? We compromise the rest first. Here comes the time then there are some people, not only they have compromised the rest, but at the same time they take some time out of this. And because of that, the cardiac output comes down. So what happens that the heart is not having sufficient amount of time to collect the blood. Heart is not having the sufficient amount of time to collect the blood. So for sure the cardiac output is going to come down. So what is yoga? I would say the voluntary practice or the method by which we use the somatic nervous system to gain control over the autonomic nervous system, and the idea is to reduce the number of heartbeat per minute. That means we are relaxed here right now, no emergency, nobody is going to hit anybody in this classroom. We are safe in this classroom. Our heartbeat is supposed to be less than 72 strokes per minute. But what happens? Anytime I loses my posture, my diaphragm is stuck. My diaphragm stuck, I go for chest breathing. As soon as I go for chest breathing, brain takes it as an emergency situation. It starts activating the sympathetic side. My breath rate goes on the higher side, heart rate goes on the higher side. So just by losing the posture, I lose many things. So it's very important for us to sit upright with the maintenance of proper curvature of spinal column.